Hi guys, so I wasn't planning on recording today, but I just had this sudden rush of energy come over me, almost like a lightning bolt saying, sit down and pull some cards. So we're going to be seeing what's going on with your energy today. I do feel like the word strength is coming through, so that might resonate with someone watching, that you found a certain type of strength. And I also feel this anticipation type of energy, or this excitement, this nervousness. You might have something coming up. I'm hearing the word celebration. Sorry, let me just put my phone on silent. I'm actually expecting a delivery. So if I need to take a call, then that's why. But yeah, I'm feeling this kind of excitement energy. I feel like there could be a celebration coming up. This could be a relationship celebration or taking your relationship to the next level. But let's just see. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, okay. We've got blessed coming out. Let's have a little look. Ooh, okay. We've got blessed. You are surrounded by divine favor, blessed in ways seen and unseen. Know that you are cherished and supported by a higher power, and step forward with unwavering faith. I get this sense that some of you might feel like you're back and forth about something, and I almost feel like that is confirmation of this is in favor of you. Whatever this is that you've been going back and forth about, this decision, this pivot in your career, this change in your personal life, I almost want to say to you that it is finding balance, and you're in this back and forth for a reason. Like, you're in between versions of yourself. You're in between iterations of your soul, I want to say. And so this back and forth might just be because you're in this transition period. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not where you're supposed to be. It just means you might be a bit like, do I? Don't I? Can I? Can't I? Like that type of energy. But just really trust. I feel like I want to say trust. The next card we've got here is 888. We've got abundance. Your willingness to resonate with abundance is the key to unlocking it. Trust in the limitless generosity of the universe, for what you desire is already making its way to you. And there's a rainbow in here as well. I feel like rainbows might be relevant to someone watching. It definitely feels like you might have been through a very difficult time, and you're really coming into this period of like the rainbow, like after the rain, it's like the sun and the rain can exist simultaneously. Like the pain and the challenge and the discomfort you've been through, it's not that anything's been going wrong. It's actually all been in favor of your evolution is what I'm feeling. Ooh, what did I say at the beginning of this reading? I said I was hearing the word strength. I just pulled the soft strength card, if you can see that. Okay, so we've got, it takes great strength to remain soft in a world that tries to harden you. Only the brave dare to feel, to love, and to face their own vulnerability. This has been coming up in so many of my videos recently. You have been going through a heart healing. I feel like the word vulnerability is really standing out to me in this card. I feel like you're really understanding that vulnerability is a strength. Not only is it a strength, but it's actually really just acceptance of who you are, why you are the way that you are, the way that you show up in life, in relationships, your challenges and your celebrations, your blessings and your burdens. I feel like there's this real vulnerability with seeing everything and no longer judging or resisting or trying to separate yourself from parts of yourself. And this healing is what is going to lead to the abundance. If you notice here, 888, 8 is the sign of infinity. It's consistent flow, okay? So that's why it's so beautiful in the way that it represents wealth and power, the number 8. Because it's this balance between the upper and the lower realms of existence, but it's also the balance between giving and receiving, and there's no end to it. It is this consistent, infinite flow. And I feel like that is almost what you're starting to realize, is that when you no longer judge yourself, when you no longer are hard on yourself or doubt yourself or come down on yourself, you realize that everything becomes open to you. Opportunity becomes open to you. Abundance becomes open to you. Relationships, love, joy, everything that you're actually trying to figure out how to get becomes not only open to you, but on your doorstep is what I'm hearing. Once you realize that you are an infinite being in and of yourself. And once you really come to acceptance of that, it creates this flow. Like, I'm seeing this flow in your body where you're no longer in this separation from your head and your heart, but it's just this constant flow, this constant infinity. And you're doing this internally, which is going to have an effect externally in your outer reality. Whether that's happened yet or not, the money, the abundance, the blessings, they're all going to come from the strength that you have had and that you have cultivated after this difficult time of challenge, of darkness, of being in the gray space, the not knowing, the back and forth. All of that is really going to help you to, I just keep seeing on your doorstep. Like, it's not even like you have to effort or force or do anything to necessarily become available for this abundance and opportunity that's coming your way. I feel like the blessings are just already there. The abundance is already there. The opportunity is already there. It's just that you needed to create the internal foundation, the internal home is what I'm seeing. So that when you open the door, everything is already there on your doorstep. You don't need to go outside of who you are in order to get what you want. Very, very powerful message. Ooh, okay, this next card, we've got validation trap. Approval is addictive, but it's a high that always crashes. You'll never feel whole if you're building yourself from borrowed praise. Guys, that is like unreal. I'm going to do one of these ones. That is just such a crazy card to get after everything that we just started with. So maybe your need for validation and praise in order to, what I'm sensing is that you might have relied on validation and praise to know that you're on the right path or to know that you were doing the right thing. And now you're stepping into this season where realizing that inner validation is the only validation that really matters. It's really connecting with that inner gut feeling, that inner instinct, that inner pull, that nudge that is guiding you towards something, even if it doesn't make logical sense, even if it doesn't fit into how you're currently living your life. Like when you follow that and you trust that and you walk in faith over sight, the path unfolds before you. And you're realizing this now. You're realizing that you don't need anyone to give you praise and approval for a version of yourself that you've created to fit in. You realize now that I just got distracted by that card, facing shadows. That's very, very interesting. Who you are is, what am I trying to say here? This is about you validating yourself. And I think that you've released judgment towards yourself. And I feel like it's in releasing the judgment towards yourself that you're going to experience this sense of justice, that what you've given out in the past will come back to you tenfold. And I am hearing the word patience as well. You've been patient. And it's not that you've necessarily felt patient, but maybe it's taken a long time for you to arrive at this place where you feel like things can get a bit easier, is what I'm hearing. Like blessings and opportunities can come to you a bit easier rather than you feeling like it's always you trying to run through mud to get somewhere. Okay, so we've got facing shadows. This is the time to look within, to confront what you have been avoiding. The light you are seeking may be hidden in the darkness that you fear. Again, I really feel like that's connected with what you've been through. What you've been through, the validation trap and facing shadows. I really do feel like there is a parental attachment that you've been unconsciously holding on to that's been creating these ceilings in your life. Like, I feel like something that your parents said that you couldn't do or you shouldn't do, or certain expectations that they had for you, has been creating this invisible glass ceiling. And that's why you keep hitting your head every time you try and go for more money, more love, more abundance, more joy, more opportunity, better health as well, as what I'm hearing. So maybe some of you have been drawn to improve your body, your physique, your strength, your flexibility. There's something around the physical vessel here. And I almost want to say to you that this ceiling is what has been breaking, and you've had to confront the shadows that have come from that ceiling of who you feel like you've needed to be in order to get love and acceptance from your parents. And I'm hearing the word outgrown. You've just outgrown it. You've outgrown the ceiling. Guys, you will not believe the card that I just pulled. 8888. So we've got a total of 7 8s here. 7 might be relevant for someone as well. 7 8s. Wow. Personal power. Abundance, prosperity, strength, big theme, harmony, confidence, wealth, empowerment, epic romance. All that is good and pleasant in your life is about to multiply. This makes sense why we've got the blessings and we've got abundance. Angels are sending you this number to reassure you of the prosperity and well-being that lie ahead. Your surroundings will treat you with admiration and respect. Use your personal power for the greater good. So I'm getting a sense that whoever I'm speaking to today experience a lot of powerlessness in their life. And I can really resonate with this too. That's why I wrote my book, Power Under Pressure. I know what it's like to feel powerless. I know what it's like to feel like everything is against you and you're really just like feeling crushed and you're questioning, what is the point? Why am I here? Like, why am I going through this? All of those questions. And I almost want to say to you that whatever you've been through recently in this past season, wherever you found this video, it has helped you to activate your power because you've had no choice but to face stuff within yourself that you have been able to avoid for years, maybe decades, up until this point, where the challenges that you've been through, and I am seeing relationships here, people reflecting stuff back to you as your mirror that you've had to confront internally. I feel like some of you in the past in relationships, when something was maybe mirrored back to you, there was still a way out. There was still a way that you could find them responsible for why you felt pain or why you felt emotion. Or maybe you could move or you could do something that was still, in a sense, not consciously, but unconsciously avoiding just looking at the thing directly. And I feel like the season you've just been through, you've had to face it head on. I'm almost hearing like there was no way out but through. Like you had to be able to confront these shadows within yourself in order to actually know, in order to have clarity on what it was that was actually blocking you. Because you thought, this is what I'm hearing, is that you thought certain things were blocking you, and now you're realizing, oh my goodness, it's been inside me the whole time. Woo! I just pulled the revelation card. That's what I'm hearing, is that I feel like you've been able to avoid it, you've been able to run from it, and then now you've just realized that you have been the source of those issues and challenges on a very deep unconscious level. And now you're really like taking responsibility for that. And there's so much power that lies in that, guys. Responsibility equals power. It goes hand in hand. Okay, I just pulled Revelation. This is number 9. That might be relevant for someone. This could represent like the completion of a cycle, which is now bringing in new blessings and abundance. But number 9 could be relevant for you at some, I feel like I'm being drawn to a date. It could be a birthday, or it could be something coming up on the 9th of the month. That's very specific. That will be for someone specifically, but that's just coming through that's important. Okay, Revelation. The veils are parting and hidden truths are ready to be revealed. This revelation may challenge your current perceptions, but it will ultimately empower you to act from a place of truth. And he's holding a lantern here, guys. That's what I feel. You've been facing your shadows. You've been bringing light to what was previously in the dark. And it was so in the dark, you had no idea it was there. Like so in the dark. It's not even something that you had a slight awareness of. I feel like you've had to confront parts of yourself where you're like, whoa, that was well done unconscious, because that was so unconscious. I had no freaking clue about it. And you're really taking your power back because you're realizing that with that awareness, you can do something with that. You can change your perception of yourself, of others, of the world, of your circumstances as well. I want to say changing your perceptions around money, career, wealth. And then we've also got financial stress coming out. This is a number 4. Financial challenges are a mirror reflecting where realignment is needed. The flow of abundance hasn't stopped. It's waiting for you to step onto the path where your efforts and purpose align. This just could not be more in sync. I literally was just talking about money and career, and this is what we're seeing here as well. So whatever you have been through, and some of you watching this might still be in this season, okay? Some of you might feel like you're right on the other side. Some of you might feel like you're still in this season, and others of you might feel like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you know that you're going through this in some way, shape, or form. I feel like I'm speaking to people at slightly different stages of this journey, but this is really around your relationship with money. This is really around your relationship with money and abundance. I almost want to say realizing as well that abundance is not just money. Maybe some of you have been very fixed on how do I make more money rather than how do I expand my internal capacity to let in more, because that's what abundance is. Abundance is more money, like abundance of love, abundance of opportunity, abundance of providership. And I feel like this is coming through. I'm also seeing nature here. So some of you might feel that you've been grounding in nature recently, or there's something about the grass or the trees that is really like anchoring you down into your truth. So that will be relevant. But I also feel like, metaphorically speaking, this is coming through to say that remember that Mother Earth is always providing for you. Like, I'm seeing how Mother Earth grows food and fruit and provides water, and actually how Mother Earth is our constant provider. And oh wow, this is so beautiful, because this ties into what I said at the beginning about your parents were your glass ceiling, that maybe you're realizing now that it's kind of like this shift where you've reparented yourself and you're realizing now that life is actually your ultimate provider, or life is the one that you work with and co-collaborate with to bring into being what it is that you want to experience and what it is that you're here to contribute to humanity. And that doesn't necessarily involve like your human incarnation parents. Someone that is listening to this will understand what I'm saying here, and they will really get this, that like, what if your parents kind of, the challenges you experienced in childhood really set the tone and sowed the seeds for the power and the strength and the abundance that you are meant to experience in this lifetime? Because I feel like I'm speaking to someone that is meant to experience financial wealth and abundance. Now, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is not professional advice. As always with my videos, use your discernment. I don't want to give anyone, false hope or anything like that. I'm just being so brutally honest with what's coming through. I feel like I'm speaking to someone that is meant to experience a freedom with money and with finances, with wealth and with opportunity. There is a big theme of infinity here. So I feel like you are someone that is meant to be infinitely provided for. You are someone that has probably experienced so much contraction around money and wealth and abundance. And I know I keep repeating the same words, but that's intentional. You've probably questioned why you haven't gotten certain opportunities, or why you're not further along in your life than where you feel like you should be. I feel like that's a narrative that's going on in someone's mind. And it's actually because you've meant to experience the opposite of abundance, the opposite of wealth, the opposite of infinity, in order to know what it actually is. Okay, this is how reality works. We experience the contrast of a specific theme that we have come here to live out in this lifetime. So you will experience feeling not enough so that you can really understand what it's like to feel enough. You'll experience what it's like to feel rejected so you can know what it's like to feel connected and loved. You'll experience what it's like to feel less than, not chosen, contraction around money, always feeling like you're in survival mode, like you have to figure everything out, in order to actually understand its opposite of wealth, abundance, infinity, flow, providership. And I really feel like I want to say to you, trust. Like, really trust. That is what you've been learning. Like, the more you've been diving deep within yourself and really looking at your darkness, confronting your shadows, I feel like you're learning trust. We've got 2020 here. So I love that, because that's 4. 4 is a multiple of 8, or a division of 8. You know what I mean? Okay, so compassion, mercy, diplomacy, potential, service, healing, adaptability, renewal. Your beliefs and assumptions are validated, showing that you are on the right path. Embrace your talents and gifts, using them to benefit both the world and your own prosperity. Serve others with kindness and generosity, as your potential is boundless. I love this. I sense that I might be speaking to someone who has been through a bit of a like hiding and then showing, or like contraction, expansion, like I'll give this everything and then I won't give this anything. Whether this is your relationship with career, or whether this is how you show up in relationships, intimate relationships, I'm sensing that you might have had this kind of back and forth type of energy. Like you're all in one minute and then you kind of back down, or you hold in, or you shut down the next minute. Hot and cold is what I'm looking for. This kind of hot and cold energy. This will be relevant for someone. This could be in your career, in what you're actually doing for yourself, that you'll be so set on something and then you change it. I actually speak about that as the chaos pattern in my book, Power Under Pressure. If any of you guys have read that, I go into that in a bit more detail in that pattern. But I'm feeling that you've been this type of person, and it's because you've relied on this validation and praise in order to know that you're on the right path. And this card here is literally saying, like, this is your internal validation that you're on the right path, that you've done the work, that you've done the right things. You're laying new foundations for yourself. And these foundations, I just keep being drawn to a home. I keep being drawn to a home, and it feels like this is like an internal home. Like you have come home to yourself. And I don't even know if you realize it yet. I think I might be speaking to someone that's done a lot of work, but they might not realize how much work they've actually done. And I want to say to you sitting in front of you today that you have done a lot. I feel like you've done a lot of mental work, and I almost want you to release the need to feel like there is more to do and just let more happen if it organically unfolds and come into your awareness, but don't necessarily force the shadow work or the journaling or the healing or whatever it is that maybe you've done. Like, don't feel like you need to do any of those things at the moment. It's almost like you've done so much foundational work over the last few years. I feel like for some of you, a decade is coming through. And I almost want to say to you, like, just relish in your own energy for a moment. Like, just actually relax and exhale into who you are in this moment. Like, be so proud of how far you've come, everything you've navigated to be this version of yourself, because this version of yourself is what the past version of yourself knew that they could become. And this is happening. And I'm hearing the word activation. There is an activation happening for you right now in your life. And I almost feel like this video might be an activation of some sort. Like some of you listening to this might be feeling this as an activation. I'm being drawn to your solar plexus, which is your center of willpower, self-esteem, action, like your ability to act on what it is that you want, on your truth. And so maybe this is awakening for you right now. Like your trust in yourself to act on your truth, not just on what is validated by other people or what you get praised from for other people, but actually what your mother frickin' truth is. That is what I'm feeling. And I do feel like there is a very big fire energy with this reading. So some of you might be fire signs. That might be additional confirmation for some of you. You don't have to be a fire sign, but for some of you, you might be. But I feel like there is this fire theme coming through in two different ways. There is the fact that a lot has been illuminated to you over the last 12 months. I am seeing 12 months. So after the last 12 months, I feel like a lot has come into your awareness. Like you're seeing things really clearly within yourself because you've had to face your shadows. But then I'm also seeing fire come through in the other way of activating your personal power. Like this just activation of your solar plexus energy where you're like, you know what? I know what I want and I know that I can make it happen. Like nothing's going to hold me back anymore. And I'm also seeing that this fire energy is coming through with burning away your old self. So you might feel like you really are burning away old parts of yourself. Some of this might be a slow burn. Some of this might be a quick burn. But I feel like for some of you, you might have really quickly been like, you know what, I'm just realizing that that's not for me anymore, whether it's a decision, a person, a home, whatever it is. And I feel like you've just really suddenly gone, nah, I'm out, see you later. Like I'm feeling this like sudden pivot or sudden shift where you just see it so clearly. You're like, I'm done. For others of you, I feel like this has maybe felt like a bit of a slower burn and it's almost been quite like excruciating. You're like, when is this going to be over? When am I going to feel happy again or whole again or just fulfilled again? Like I feel like this has just been such a long journey of discomfort. It's taken the time it's needed. Like your nervous system has needed a break. Your nervous system is needed to go through this slow burn to get it to the foundation and to get it to the place where your life can feel and be completely different. That is what I'm feeling. Like, I feel like you are introducing yourself in a new way. Like you are being introduced to yourself in a new way. You're meeting a version of yourself that you've never known before. And it's because you've broken through these glass ceilings from your parents or your family, self-fulfilling prophecy, ancestors. You're actually breaking through those glass ceilings, especially as it pertains to your wealth, your opportunity, your abundance, and you're accessing the abundance within. And you don't know what this version of yourself feels like yet, or moves like, or operates like, or decides like, but you're starting to get these tasters of it. You're starting to get visions and glimpses. Some of you might be getting visions in the shower, like these random insights. Some of you might be getting it through your dreams where you wake up and you're like, what did that mean? Because that dream felt big. That felt strong. So I feel like that's coming through. This feels very like, no wonder I felt that energy of like a lightning bolt to come and jump on and record this video, because it feels like a very Like, you know, when you get this rush of excitement run through your body and you can feel it all the way from the base of your spine all the way up, and you're like, I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm ready to go, like I'm excited, let's go. Like, it's that type of energy. So you might be feeling that right now after this time of being in this tunnel and not quite seeing the light at the end, or this is about to happen where you feel this excitement, this, like, I want to say, like, reignited fire in you, this spark, this energy, this get up and go energy, this enjoyment for life, this let's see what life has to offer me, I'm ready, let's go. And I do really feel, I know I keep saying it, but I keep being drawn to the fact that you almost had to let your parents' glass ceilings get out of the way. You needed to really step out on your own to find this independence and to realize that you can do it because of who you are. You can do it because of who you are. Expectations don't matter anymore. External validation doesn't matter anymore. The need to prove yourself doesn't matter anymore. You've got this because you've got this, and that's all you need to know. Okay, I feel like getting one more here. So let me know in the comments what's really landed for you in this video. I'm very curious to see what's really dropping through. I will say as well that some of you have been messaging me about booking a private session with me. I do have open spots at the moment for personal readings, so you can just access the link below. The link in the description is the only link I will ever use for sessions. You can do a personal reading with me, or you can also do the personal and business reading. So it's whatever feels most relevant for you. I'm going to get 2 cards. So you can book in below. If you click the link and it says no bookings available, then the bookings have already closed. Okay. All right. Ooh, we've got violated. When your boundaries were shattered, a part of you went into hiding. It's time to call that part back. And there's actually a dragon in this card. So dragons might be relevant for you. There's also a heel, like it's really, let me see if I can show you. If you can see that, it's like a lady's high heel with a dragon coming out of it. That's so cool, I love it. And it almost, again, gives me that fire energy, that fire breathing energy. It's like no one can push you around like they used to. Like, you've learned your boundaries. You've learned what you want, what you don't want. You can honor your yeses and your nos in a way that you never could to the extent you can now, because you're no longer relying on other people's validation or you needing to prove yourself to other people for you to feel internally good about yourself. You're realizing that feeling good about yourself is more about accepting who you are and living in your truth, even if it is unpopular to those around you. And you're realizing this now. And so you're coming out of this. You're reclaiming those parts of you. I've also got here projections. Not everything you feel is a fact. Sometimes your mind is filling in blanks with old stories. This is so interesting. I really do feel like a lot of you watching this are still in this season. You're still in the tunnel. And I feel like some of you might be trying to make sense of projections. You're trying to figure out, is that me or is it them? Is it me or is it something else? And it's because you are still going through this validation trap and you are still facing your shadows. I don't know if you can see those because the light reflecting, hopefully. Okay, so some of you might still be in this, but I feel like this reading might actually bring some awareness that there is nothing you need to do with like these like, don't resolve the tension of these shadows anymore. Like, if you feel like you're in the gap, if you feel like you're in the void, if you feel like you're focusing on what's not going right, I want you to just really remember that that is just your ego trying to pull you back into the familiar self, and you're outgrowing this. Like, your spirit is trying to outgrow this. So it's up to you to be courageous enough to keep choosing expansion every time life tries to contract you. And I feel like this projection piece is really important. Like, in the past, you might have had a feeling about something and you took it on as truth. Or you, like, again, it's tying it into what I said at the beginning, where someone would upset you in a relationship and you would almost point the finger and be like, oh, it's because you did this, or it's your pattern, or it's this. And it's not to say that other people's actions, obviously other people's actions affect us. But what's really interesting, if you look at it from a very very logical perspective, is emotion is something that happens within you, within your vessel, within your body. Emotions is essentially a chemical response in the body, which is a chain reaction from an electrical impulse in the brain, which is a thought. And so really it's about whatever they've said or done triggers a specific thought in your brain, which then triggers the emotional response. And you're realizing now that actually, if you change your thoughts, if you change your perceptions, you don't have the same emotional response, because the emotions always follow the thought, and also emotions spark other thoughts, right? When you feel an emotion, it kind of opens a door to all of these thoughts which are in energetic alignment with that emotion. So if you feel down on yourself, you're gonna it naturally wants to spiral, okay? It's naturally gonna wanna create more reasons for you to doubt yourself, or you're gonna see things where it gives you more evidence as to why to doubt yourself, because that's just how we work as humans, okay? But I feel like you are realizing, or you are in the process of realizing, to understand when there is projection and when there is truth. And to know that within yourself and also within other people. So you might feel that someone has, if you feel triggered by someone, it's almost like just taking a moment to be like, is this them? Is this me? Like, if I remove all kind of emotion, like, or defense reaction to this, what is left? Like, what is the truth of this? I feel like I'm not doing a very good job at explaining this. I actually just heard like Emma just leave it there. Like, this is done. So maybe I'll go deeper into that in another video, but it's really just, you're strengthening your awareness essentially, and you're strengthening how you see things, like things are being illuminated to you, and you're realizing that the perceptions and assumptions that you jumped to previously about yourself or about others or the world, you're now realizing, that was just me jumping to an assumption. What if that's not actually true? What if there is another truth hidden here? And I'm facing my shadows to be able to see it, okay? That's really, really important. Guys, this was a powerful message. This was very short, sweet, well, maybe not sweet, but short, spicy, and just to the point. So let me know in the comments what landed for you today, if this landed for you today. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I do readings like this on a weekly basis. And as I mentioned, I do currently have openings for personal readings and personal and business readings. The link is in the description. You can book in now. Other than that, guys, I will see you on the next one.